Bathroom modelers, a lot of agency owners are going to hate me for making this video, but how many times have you been scrolling on Facebook now and you're seeing people offering you, booked appointments for $200, $250, $300, whatever the number is? I want you to just do one thing before you get excited about, oh my God, an appointment for $200. Is just do the math, right? We're all business owners, right? You can understand margins just as well as we can. And once you actually think through the economics, you stop asking yourself, how cheap are the appointments? And you start asking a very different question. It's how can they possibly afford to sell them to me for this price? They're covering the ads, they're paying their team, software, their setters, and they're refunding you on no-shows and cancellations and whatever, and they're still selling you that appointment for $250, right? Pocket change. What's left? What's left for them? And that's exactly what we're getting into today here. So let's for a second pretend here that they sell you an appointment for $247, right? And they're covering the advertising. That $247 that they're selling you is not profit. First, like Meta itself has to get paid because they're advertising on their software, right? They still have to pay Meta, whatever it may be, 100 a day, 150 a day. And then whoever qualifies the lead, right? The lead's not qualifying themselves. They have to call the lead. They have to, pay them to call the lead, right? And then they have to pay their software, right? Their CRM, their equipment, their phone. They have to go through all these, payment processing fees. They have to do management, failed leads, and they have to still refund that no-show. And then after that, they still have to make a profit. So ask yourself, how much can they actually spend to acquire your appointment? So in order for them to make a profit, they need one of two things: insane efficiency or compromises. And that is literally my whole point, right? I'm not telling you every single cheap appointment is bad. I'm just telling you the economics have to work somewhere. Maybe they're incredibly efficient, great, but you should understand how, because otherwise something's getting sacrificed. Maybe they're barely qualifying people. Maybe they're optimizing for pure volume, or maybe the homeowner was never even confirmed and it's not exclusive. Whatever it is, you need to know what you're actually buying. And this is probably the biggest distinction. A booked calendar slot does not automatically mean a sales opportunity. Right? Those are two completely different products. Someone can agree to an appointment while having no urgency, no real project, no decision maker home, no idea what remodeling costs are, and barely any memory of why you're calling. But hey, they're on the calendar, right? That's $250. So technically, somebody can call that an appointment, and that is why I don't want you obsessing over some sticker price on an ad or what they're pitching you on that call. And here's where cheap becomes expensive. Right, so let's exaggerate to make the point. Company A gives you 10 appointments at $247. You spent $2,470. Okay, sounds incredible, but only 2 are qualified and show up, and neither closes, right? Because you'd have to have an insane close rate to close 2 out of 10, right? Or you'd have to be very lucky. And if the other 8 didn't show, what makes you think the 2 that did are going to close, right? You didn't save money. You spent $2,470 to make 0. Now, Company B is charging, let's say, $600 per appointment. 10 appointments cost you $6K, right? Way more upfront, but 8 of them show up. Why? Because they don't have to risk or compromise anything to book those appointments in, because they have so much room to make money and pay their setters and their software and still make profit after that, right? 8 show up and your team closes 2. At $20,000 a project, whatever it may be, that's $40K in sold revenue from $6,000 in appointment costs. So at the end of the day, which one was actually cheaper and which one would you personally prefer? And it gets even worse because you're not losing the $247. Your salesperson blocks their afternoon. They prep, they drive 35 minutes each way, and they sit there for an hour. Maybe the spouse is even home. Maybe the homeowner thought they were getting a $3,000 shower. What is that time worth to you? I mean, what could that rep have been doing instead? I mean, a bad appointment doesn't just burn your marketing dollars. It just burns your sales capacity as well. And if you're doing 1 million, 2 million, 5 million a year, your team's time is extremely expensive. So to be downselling yourself and buying appointments for pocket change, you're buying appointments for pocket change is insane. You're wasting your team's time and your money. So if you're evaluating an appointment provider, stop making your first question, how much per appointment? How much does it cost? I mean, do I have an upfront? I care way more about how is the homeowner generated? I mean, what did they respond to? What did the ad look like? What were they asked? What makes them even qualified? How are they qualified? Are they exclusive? Confirmed? I mean, do you guys nurture them? Like, what happens with the no-shows? What is the show rate? Like, what are your other clients' show rate? Ultimately, what percentage of those becomes revenue? Because that is the number that's going to pay your bills. Not, the cool sticker price that they put in the ad to reel you in and then send you 10 garbage leads that they got last week. Right? So if you're trying to go from 100K a month to 300K, 400K, 500K, you can't really build that on whatever lead source has the cheapest sticker price this month, right? You need your numbers. right? Your cost per appointment, qualification rate, show rate, close rate, all that good stuff. I mean, once you know those, you can stop asking yourself, how cheap can I get these leads? And start asking, how much can I profitably afford to acquire a customer, right? Because it is a completely different question. Okay. Because if you're spending $250 per appointment and you're, needing to get 15 to close a single one, your CAC is going to be a lot higher than just paying a marketing agency 600 per appointment, letting them actually filter through and qualify each and every single one, and then closing 1 in 3 and having an $1,800 CAC, right? That's completely fine. So here's the key takeaway. I'm not saying, expensive is automatically good or cheap is automatically bad. I'm just saying stop buying on price, buy on the economics, right? So if you're serious about scaling a remodeling company, subscribe. I keep breaking down, cool insider agency info on this channel. So leave a like down below. Leave a comment on anything you want to know next. I'm an open book. Agency owners hate me, but it is what it is. Have a good one.